Hey, good morning, and here's our warm-up for today. Thinking about conic sections. First thing I need to do is what?
Find the distance.
Find the distance, because what's the distance? What's the distance?
You want the answer? Or...
I want the word.
Oh, no.
Say louder. It's the radius, okay? I have the center, right, which is the H and the K of the circle, but I need the radius. And so that distance between those 2 points is going to be the radius. So, R is going to equal -3 minus 17 quantity squared plus 4 minus -12 quantity squared, and then I have to take the square root of that. -3 minus 17 is -20 squared plus 16 squared, and I still have to take the square root of that. -20 squared is 400. 16 squared is 256. So I get my radius is the square root of 656. Agree? Okay. So the formula, for the circle is x minus -3 quantity squared plus y minus 4 quantity squared equals this radius squared, which is just 656. And that's it. Okay. Today, you will need 3 pieces of graph paper, or 3 graphs, I should say, not 3 pieces of graph paper. You'll need 3 graphs, just so you know. If you don't have 3 graphs, make sure you come up and get a piece of graph paper. Okay. From Monday, what are the steps to graphing and finding everything out that we need to know about an ellipse? Matthew, first one. Find the center. Again, if you haven't written this down on your note sheet, that's your own fault. Okay? I can't help you. I give you the tools to be successful, and if you choose not to use those tools and go your own way, that's on you. That's not on me. Okay? Side note, 0 people passed the formative yesterday. 0. Okay? Alright? Again, you had a note sheet that you could use, and there was one question of the 4 that was from Monday. Okay? All right? Step number 2. What do we do? Okay, what do I do with what that number is? Square root it, and what does that do for me?
It shows you how far you go, like left or right from the side.
So that would be the endpoints of one of the axes. Okay? Don't know if it's major or minor. Well, actually, you probably could figure out if it's major or minor based on what? Based on which number is bigger. Yep. Okay, so whichever one's bigger is going to be the endpoints of the major axes. Whichever one is smaller is going to be the endpoints of the minor axes. Love it. Step number 3.
You look under the y-squared term.
Okay.
Take the square root of it.
Okay.
And then that's the up-down.
That's from the center. Yep. Love it. Okay. Step 4. What will we do now?
You draw it in.
We can draw it in. Yep. Step 5. That's 6. Foci first. Yep. Foci first. Really, it doesn't matter which order you do it in. I mean, it's not, but if we're following along with Monday's notes, we had that vertices was step 6. Step 5 was find the foci. What is the equation that I need to use for finding foci?
A squared equals the absolute value of a squared minus b squared.
And what's a squared?
That's the first one. Yeah. The first one under x squared.
So it's the number underneath x squared. Yep. And b squared is the number under y squared. Yep. Okay. Okay. So really, we could have gone back up here and we could have said that this was a squared and this was b squared. Right? Okay. All right. And what's c then? What's c? The distance from the center to the focus. And where is the foci, or where are the foci located? Along the major axes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Nope. Nope.
What if it's a negative?
That's what the absolute value does. Yep. Yep. Yeah, a lot of people gave me imaginary numbers on yesterday's formative, but that absolute value takes care of that. Yep. Okay. Step 6. Vertices. Where are the vertices?
Endpoints of the major axes.
Yep. So the key things that I will ask you for on a quiz or on a test or in a homework or things of that nature are number 1, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay? So there's 2 foci, there's 2 vertices, that's 4, a center is 5, and a picture is 6. So there's 6 things to do on when you're graphing an ellipse. Okay? So, let's follow those steps now and let's graph this ellipse. Easy for me to say. Graph this ellipse. And then let's list out our key points, the 5 key points that we need. Center, 2 vertices, 2 foci. Okay? All right. Step number 1 says I need to do what? Find the center. Okay? Oh, Savannah, where's the center? 1 comma negative 3, because we think oppositely on both. Yep. Love it. So that would be right, oops. There. Again, if you put a dot, that's fine. If you put a C, even better. Step number 2 says what? So what am I square rooting? 4. What's the square root of 4? So that means what? From the center, left and right, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 from the center. Love it. Next.
The square root of 25.
Okay. What is the square root of 25? Which means what?
Then you go up and down 5.
So that's there, and 2, 4, 5 is there. Okay, love it. Now what? Draw it in. Okay. Now what?
Find the foci.
How am I going to find the foci?
C squared equals the absolute value of a squared minus b squared.
So c squared is equal to the absolute value of
4 minus 25.
4 minus 25 is
Negative 21.
absolute valued.
21.
So c squared is 21. So c is what?
Square root of 21.
Square root of 21. Can the square root of 21 be simplified at all? Nope. Okay. Am I going to, well, where from the center are my 2 foci located? Up and down or left and right?
Up and down.
Up and down. So that's vertically, right? So I'm going to add and subtract the square root of 21 to which part of my center?
X.
Which part am I going to add the square root of 21 to of my center? Why? Matthew. Why x? I thought we just said the major axis was vertical. Isn't it? Isn't this x and this y? Isn't it?
Because 25 is bigger than 4.
Okay, so that's why it's vertical. Yeah.
Yeah, so is going to be on the vertical axis because 25 is greater than 4.
Okay. So what do I add it to? Because so far we've had them both.
-3.
So that's the y part?
Yeah.
Because y is vertical? Okay, yeah. So the foci would be at the points 1, comma, -3 plus or minus the square root of 21. Another way to think about it is approximately how big is the square root of 21? Ballpark it.
4.5 something.
4.5 something, right? Because it's halfway in between 16 and 25, right? Okay, so if I go left and right from my center, 4.5, 1, 2, 3, 4.5, that would put my foci there. Where are the foci of an ellipse? Inside. Is that purple point inside my ellipse? No, it's not. So it can't be left and right. Yes, ma'am?
For the foci, do you want us to write it as 2 separate, or can we just leave it as plus or minus?
If it happened to be something like the square root of 25, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's a perfect square and you're square rooting it, then I want it as 2 points. Okay? Where you can figure out what the actual points are, I want it separated.
But if you can't simplify it, then it's just 1.
But I would still want it in simplified radical form. Lots of people yesterday gave me the square root of 32. Square root of 32 is not simplified radical form. 4 square roots of 2 is simplified radical form for that. So, okay. Last step, one more step. We just need to find the vertices, correct? Vertices are what? They're what? So what are they? 1, 2. Did you say -8? Yep. Okay. So the graph would be worth some points. The vertices would be worth some points. The foci would be worth some points. And the center would be worth some points. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
So for like the square root, if we just put it in the calculator and then just find what it is that how we can just put it on the graph?
That's how you can put it on the graph, yes. Okay? Yes. But not how I want it written out. Okay? Go for it. Center. A squared.
6.
A squared.
36.
36, right? So I take the square root of 36, which is 6. So I'm going left and right. 6? Is that major or is that minor? Minor. Okay. B squared is 81. Square root of 81 is 9. I mean, I'm going up and down 9. Oops. Along like that. Foci. Negative 45. Okay, so absolute value 45. Right. Square root of 45.
Plus or minus 3 square roots of 5.
3 square roots of 5. Am I going to add that to the x or to the y of the center? Because the major axis is vertical. Okay. So that puts my foci at the point -2, comma, plus or minus 3 square roots of 5. Okay. Vertices. And questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can I get a new graph sheet?
Like one right here? Go for it. Center. Was that -2, comma -1? Okay. Left and right, because it's the square root of 20, which is really 2 square roots of 5, which is approximately 4.5. 2, 4.5, 2, 4.5. B squared? Square root of 4, which is 2, so that's up and down 2. A little too high on that one, on this side. Okay. All right. Foci. Oops. Go this way first. C squared is equal to what? What is 20 minus 4?
16.
So C is 4. Okay. Sophia, back to your question before. Because C is 4 here, we can actually find the actual points of the foci. Okay. So am I going to add it to the x or to the y? To the x. Okay. So -2 plus 4 is, and -2 minus 4 is
-6.
negative 6. So my foci are at 2, comma, negative 1, and they're at negative 6, comma, negative 1. Endpoints of the vertices. What am I going to add to get the endpoints of the vertices? What's the distance away on the major axes from the center?
4.5.
That's not exact.
Negative 2 plus or minus 2 square root 5, comma, negative 1.
Love it. Because it's A away, right? And A is, it's A left and right. And so A is 2 square roots of 5. So I've got to add and subtract 2 square roots of 5. Adding it goes to the right, subtracting it goes to the left.
So you want that instead of like 0.5?
I want exacts. Yep, exacts.
Wait, why do you have the negative 2?
Because we're adding and subtracting it to the center. So the 6 answers here. Graph, 2 foci, 2 vertices, and a center. Okay? 2 things for your homework tonight. First off, make sure that the front side of your worksheet is done correctly, meaning make sure your radicals are simplified, make sure they're in the right spots, make sure you added and subtracted into the correct ones. And then the second thing is all of you need to fix your formatives.